did.
Did I black out? All right, so we're halfway through the first hour. We have an hour and a half remaining before the price expires on the split neckline embroidered blouse. It is a blouse that in the past has been $92 and in the future will be $92. There are reasons for that. You can see just some of those evident in this close-up with the embroidery, the eyelet, the fringe detail on the neckline, color match buttons that are wrapped. The
flutter sleeve with the coverage on the side.
Thank
so you're
you.
Not gonna,
That
the
shall not be named.
The covered buttons, which are set on elastic, so that will stretch over your head.
Yeah, you don't need them.
Maybe
They're there.
you need to
That's great.
do one or two, but it's just a good thing. And then all that eyelet embroidery, right?
$32 off for 90 more minutes.
So gorge.
Colors are darling pink, and I know you see it back there. Because MR stylist suggests, and I approve.
That little 24/7 thing.
The
I think the jacket sold out on that fabric. You know, so proud of that. But
next is Dreamscape Blue.
Gorgeous.
And then how about this? We do this in black at a one-time only price, and I don't know how you
how do you leave that? How do you leave that blouse at
Then you also get the
$60?
pedal pushers, I think.
Oh yes, and then you're like full-on Marilyn Monroe. You mean a black and a black?
Yes.
Oh yes. Full on
shoe.
Marilyn with like that little sandal she had on, that little strappy thing with the heel.
100%.
Girl, so cute. All right, so where do we start? I always think, you know, again, it's 1,000 degrees. You know, it's hot. You have very little time. You are too busy, like, you know, languishing in the sun because you're on vacation. But you do want to look gorgeous. Does this ring a bell? Is this you? Because if it is, you know, look at this, pay attention, and maybe, because I'm telling you, you just put this on and you are so finished. Like, you don't need any, and I love it because, as I said before, like the way it's fitted, it's 100% cotton and there's no stretch to it, but the way it's fitted and the way it's engineered, it will probably go on over your head. Maybe you need to undo a few buttons, right? Especially if your hair is very big. And by the way, you can undo all the buttons if you're that lady who likes to step in and just put it on. You can undo it. It's like, you know,
or have
they're
a little
easy.
cami underneath and wear like a little shirt.
It has these little elastic loops and these really, really precious covered buttons. I just love a feminine detail, not just the embroidery, but the little covered buttons. It's almost like a wedding dress to me. Always wedding dresses have like little tiny like covered buttons with the little loops, you know?
That's right.
That's kind of the inspiration. And then look how it fits a day.
And the back of it. This is why, and I told you that all will be revealed. You will see why it was at one point $92. And it is, to your point, talking about like wedding dresses and bespoke pieces, like that's the kind of lush detail that you see on the back of it.
And look at the armhole. Look at what it's doing. You're never going to see in. And then look at the wonderful shoulder emphasis of those butterfly sleeves in the cotton, which is a kind of a stiffness. So you get a kind of a personality from this blouse that you will just not find. And then look at that embroidery, darling. If that doesn't scream money, 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 right?
And the little fringe up there at the collar. I don't know. Everything about it is. It's interesting how it's very feminine, but it doesn't seem like something only.
And the little tiny ruffle at the collar is fabulous, right? That's just so unexpected and just a little extra added bonus, like you said, a little feminine extra bonus, you know? So
then we have denim coming up in the show and a bottom, and you're going to wear it with that. We have the pedal pusher.
The pedal pusher would be cute
coming up,
this.
and I think that's kind of my favorite combo is that plus the pedal pusher because it casualizes it a little bit, and we have some of those here to show you. And, and the other thing I wanted to show everybody, actually it's probably better on this color. Have you ever had these kind of elastic loop buttons and there's just this big gaping open space behind it? There is an extension of the fabric.
There's like a little placket inside that doesn't
underneath, so that there's never a peekaboo in between the buttons. I just love that that was thought of.
Me too. I have to say, this blouse is like a home run. You know, like, right? And whether you're talking about doing it this way with, like you saw on a day, like that, or you're thinking about just doing it with like the 24/7 stretch pedal pushers. Forget about it. Like, it's all good. There's nothing bad about this, right?
Or my favorite color of the pedal pusher.
Mine
which is the green.
That's pretty with black.
That you do with the black.
You know what I gotta say? With blue, it's heaven.
Or spring.
You know what? Can I tell you something? The more I live through a spring season, the more I go pink and green, please.
Really?
I mean it. You know, I love it in the whole Palm Beach kind of tongue-in-cheek, but then, listen, we have these big pink trees on my property, these, you know, these, what are they called? Like Kwanzaa cherry tree. It's just one in the front.
Okay.
It's massive and it's like very old. And it blooms like pink,
explodes, right?
you know, explodes in May, and then you get a carpet of pink on the grass.
Yes.
And note to self, you know, green.
Mother
and then with
Nature
pink.
approves of that
I know,
color.
Mother Nature made up that color combination, darling.
Oh, it's so great. And then you give it more of a sporty look when you
at
do
that
it with the
on
plaid.
a day. Oh, with the sport, yeah, the sportiness of the plaid.
So
You
what if
said
you're
it.
okay, we just talked about the dress, and I was like, hey, what do you have coming up? Is it a graduation? Is it a baby shower, a wedding shower or something? But I'm also thinking of the woman who goes, I do have that coming up. I don't do dresses. I do have that coming up. I don't necessarily buy special occasion pieces. I wear what I already have and I style it in a special occasion kind of way. I think this is that perfect piece for you because on days where you're not wearing it with pedal pushers, you wear it with a gorgeous palazzo pant with a pattern to it.
Maybe those crepey printed ones from
Yes,
before. That
would
would
be
work.
fabulous.
I know that would work. You
Yes.
know? Yeah. And you know, look, we kept it to a very limited palette, so it's like the pink, the blue, and the black, right? And I think those are the most useful colors here.
So,
You know, I really
question
do.
for you: it is lettered sizing, but it does not have stretch. Do we go with our usual size?
I think so.
You're
yes.
small. You get a small.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why, because we cut this easy so that you put it on. I mean, it's not
Yeah, it's not
oversized.
fitted.
It does have a shape cut into it, but it's just easy to get on and off that way rather than undoing all the buttons. Maybe you have to undo one or two of them and then put it on and just, you know what I mean? I like the idea of something going on over the head that isn't necessarily a t-shirt, you know?
This whole presentation makes me want to get one of those mirrors with the lights around it like that. Just it's like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like I need one of those.
Yeah. Well, actually, tune into my, it's so funny you should say
Yeah.
lights with mirrors because my Instagram post on my personal page is all about lights and mirrors.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Great minds.
Seriously.
Great minds.
You know,
Follow him on Instagram.
I asked
am
my
Isaac
looking
Mizrahi.
glass, what is it? You know that? Makes me so exquisite. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
All right, friends, at the end of the show, the price goes up. It's Darling Pink, Dreamscape Blue, and Black. A644950. It's Sakya.
Okay.
And it goes really well with the 24/7 stretch plaid pant that we're going to talk about
I
now.
love those.
And I say this in every